So, bought a new used PC, a starter system from eBay, and after putting the M.2 back in, it's got a 500 gigabyte M.2. Is the flash on? I'll turn that off. It all works, not a problem. It's a rat's nest and a mess, and it's caked in dust. The seller could have bloody given it at least a bleeding blowout with something, but no, the whole thing needs stripping down and cleaning. But this is the biggest thing that we have to look at. Oh, wrong keyboard, that's from my rig. The seller has not provided the code to get into the damn computer. Well, I'm going to be whipping out the 500 gigabyte NVMe anyway to use in my build and reformat the hard drive and put a fresh install of Windows on it, I think, once I've stripped it down and given it a re-clean. Yeah, and repasted the CPU. The specs of this system. Yeah, ignore the mess. The specs of this system are a 3600 Radeon chip, 16 gigabyte of DDR4, 3200 megahertz RAM, and a 1060 GPU. Now, I'm toying with the idea of whacking everything out of this manky old case and put it in an old case that I've got.
The code only works with numbers.
We shall have a look. See if there's a way I can... there's a little bit of room for cable management behind there, but it's a mess. So I might just have to rebuild this into a different tower.
Where's Mummy?
Mummy's out the back. Look at the state of it. It is manky as hell. You'd think somebody selling something would clean it these days, but no. Oh well. Yes, I think I might use my old fractal case I've got down there. It's got slightly dodgy front USBs, but the person who's getting this doesn't need the front USBs. We shall see. Now, I've had to hide to make this part of the video. What my oldest doesn't realise is this computer's for him. He thinks it's for his uncle. The reason being is he's really seen me playing Forza and had a few goes on it himself on my computer. And he loves it. Now he's got an old i5 laptop at the moment. It's not very good, not very powerful. It could probably run Forza, but not very well. But he wants to play a game like that. A bit more, you know, AAA, a bit more intensive. So we decided we're going to buy him a new laptop for Christmas. Not a new one, obviously, a second-hand new one. Unfortunately, the cost of them is still horrendous. And I wasn't aware of the GPU prices about to be dropped, and yep, that's my oldest and my autistic fighting. So, he's in for a surprise. Unfortunately, as I've just said in the last bit of the video, the thing's a mess. The tower's old, airflow's not great. So I'm going to rip out everything from inside it, clean it up, and put it in one of my old towers that I no longer need because I've got a desk build now. Oh, I did a desk build. Oh. In a second I want to go out there and find out where they're fighting. Again. When ain't they? Okay, so update on rebuilding this system and cleaning it up as I go. Just took the CPU cooler off. It pulled the CPU out the socket and bent some pins because it's never been repasted. So it looks like I may have a dead CPU, which is extremely frustrating.
Yes. Everything.
The wife is currently, as she's got better eyes than me, trying to straighten the pins that bent. And we'll see what happens. If not, I'll have to go back to the... I've got my old i9 and a faulty motherboard, so I might just have to, as my wife doesn't use the onboard sound much, she uses a headset attached to a microphone. Looks like she's going to get my motherboard and old motherboard and CPU, and then this system will have to be rebuilt with Intel. And that is fucking frustrating. That just goes to show you how important it is to regularly repaste your CPU. And to the seller, you're a fucking knob. This system was disgusting. Okay. Yes. Thanks to my wife repairing the CPU pins that I bent when I tried to get the cooler off, we now have a fully working and almost completely set up computer for my son.
That's me.
Although the internet isn't very fast on it.
Jared has
It's taken a while to install Minecraft.
I get the big mouse. I have the black mouse.
Yes.
No, I have the black mouse.
Now they're arguing over the laptop and the computer. So that computer is a R3600 with a 1060 GPU, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM.
It's connected to that.
A full setup cost me just under 500 quid.
That one. Oh.
Not bad. A bit more than I wanted to spend, but it works.
This one? Yeah.
Now we just got to wait for his Minecraft to download onto it.
Yeah.
Which for some reason is taking a lot longer than I would have thought.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I might have to look into that. Might be the internet cable I'm using because it's quite a basic internet cable.
Daddy.
Yes?
I want to have the laptop first.
Yeah, I've got to sort the laptop out and put a profile, your profile on there. Because at the moment it's just set up for Seth and me and Mummy, so I need to put you up. I need to make you a profile on there so you can use it.
Don't forget.
But don't worry, we'll get it.
When he's older.
Yep, and when you get a bit older, you'll get a PC too, but you have to be a bit older and prove that you can use it and not break it. Well, there you go.
I don't even break.
A very basic starter PC for my little man. Obviously, beginning of the video, you'll have seen the original tower it came in. I replaced that with an old tower that I had. So we'll see how it goes. Just a little bit of an update to clear up a couple of points. For those of you eagle-eyed, you'll notice the RAM is not RGB, and it was in the original video. The reason being is the RAM that came with the system was 3200 megahertz, and the RAM that's now in there is 3000 megahertz. That the wife had in her rig, so I swapped that out to give my wife some slightly faster RAM, as my son doesn't need quite that much. Also, the fans that came in the old system were, so he hasn't got any RGB fans now, just some of my old fans, a Fractal and a couple of Corsairs in there to keep his system cool. I'm now in the process of sorting out the laptop. i5, 4 gig of RAM. It's taking forever to reformat that, or reset it rather. So I can set it up for my middle boy. Meanwhile, my youngest is in a really aggy mood today and is just constantly whining at me.
It's no different from yesterday, the day before that, and the day before
He's
that.
3. So anybody who's got a 2 or 3 year olds, you know exactly what we're going through. Right, that's about it. Yes.
I do.